There's a truth most men never hear about women. The woman who seems completely uninterested in you, most of the time she's not rejecting your entire identity. She's rejecting the version of you she has experienced so far, and that difference changes everything. Because attraction for women is rarely as simple as men think it is. Most men assume attraction is instant and fixed. Either she likes you or she doesn't. Either you're her type or you're invisible. But female psychology doesn't work that way. A woman can feel nothing for a man today and become emotionally attached to him months later. Not because he manipulated her, not because he begged harder, not because he chased her endlessly, but because the emotional experience she had around him changed. And once you understand this, you stop trying to convince women to like you and start becoming naturally attractive without forcing it. Now, before you think this is about fake alpha male tricks or cringe pickup lines, let me stop you right there. This is psychology. This is understanding how emotional attraction actually develops inside a woman's mind. Because most men completely misunderstand female attraction. Men often experience attraction visually and immediately, while women often experience attraction emotionally and progressively. That means a woman may not feel attraction instantly, but over time, certain emotional triggers can completely change the way she sees you. And honestly, this is where most men destroy their chances without realizing it. The moment they like a woman, they become predictable. They text too much, agree with everything she says, constantly seek validation, become overly available, act nervous around her, over-explain themselves, and slowly, without noticing, place the woman above themselves psychologically. And women can feel this immediately, because attraction isn't only about looks. It's about emotional energy. A desperate man creates emotional pressure. A secure man creates emotional curiosity. That's the difference. And curiosity is one of the strongest psychological triggers in female attraction. Research on attraction psychology consistently shows that uncertainty increases emotional engagement because the human brain becomes obsessed with what it cannot fully predict. Think about it. When someone is completely available, completely predictable, and emotionally transparent from day one, the brain stops working for their attention. But when someone feels emotionally grounded, interesting, and slightly difficult to fully read, the brain pays more attention. And no, this does not mean playing manipulative games. It means having your own emotional center, your own purpose, your own routines, your own confidence, and your own world outside of female validation. The most attractive men are rarely the men trying hardest to impress women. Usually, they're the men most focused on building themselves, and women notice this more than men realize. Women are emotional observers. They notice your body language, your reactions, your tone, your confidence under pressure, how you handle silence, and how badly you need approval. And insecurity always leaks through behavior. The nervous laughter, the constant checking if she's impressed, the endless agreeing, the fear of disagreement, the over-texting, the immediate replies every second of the day. These things silently communicate one message. You determine my emotional state, and that instantly weakens attraction. Real confidence feels completely different. Confidence isn't loudness, arrogance, or pretending not to care. Real confidence is emotional stability. It's being comfortable even when you don't know the outcome. It's being able to maintain eye contact naturally, speak calmly, disagree respectfully, handle rejection without becoming bitter, and stay emotionally grounded without needing constant reassurance. And honestly, some of the most attractive men are the quietest men in the room because they don't feel the need to perform. They don't desperately try to prove their value because their energy already communicates self-respect. Now, here's something uncomfortable that women rarely admit openly. Women are heavily influenced by emotional perception and social value, meaning when other people naturally enjoy being around you, women notice. When you have genuine friendships, confidence, ambition, humor, emotional control, and purpose, your attractiveness increases automatically. Not because women are shallow, but because human psychology responds to perceived value. A man with a strong social presence feels emotionally safer, more desirable, and more interesting. And this is exactly why men who obsess over one woman often lose her attraction completely. They slowly abandon their own lives. Their hobbies disappear, their ambition weakens, and their emotional world shrinks until everything revolves around getting one woman's attention. Ironically, that desperation pushes her away because attraction grows strongest when a man already feels emotionally complete without needing her to complete him. And here's another thing most men misunderstand. Being nice is not the same thing as being emotionally attractive. A lot of men think if they avoid tension completely, women will naturally fall for them. So they become endlessly agreeable. They never challenge anything, never tease playfully, never create emotional variation, and never express strong opinions. Every interaction becomes emotionally flat, pleasant, but forgettable. But attraction thrives on emotional movement, playfulness, mystery, intensity, humor, unexpectedness, and depth. Women remember men who make them feel something emotionally, and sometimes the strongest attraction comes from tiny moments most men overlook. A calm disagreement, a confident opinion, a teasing comment, a moment of silence without nervousness, a man who stays emotionally composed instead of trying too hard. Because emotionally grounded men feel rare, and rare things naturally become more valuable psychologically. Now listen carefully to this part because it's important. You should never try to force someone to like you. That's not confidence. That's emotional dependency. Female attraction is not about convincing. It's about becoming more emotionally disciplined, more interesting, more socially alive, more self-respecting, and more confident in your own identity. Because when a woman senses that your happiness doesn't depend on her validation, something changes inside her perception. Suddenly, you feel different, more mysterious, more grounded, more emotionally attractive. And often, the woman who barely noticed you before starts paying attention, not because you chased harder, but because your entire energy changed. So remember this, the woman who seems uninterested today is not necessarily giving you a permanent verdict. She's responding to the version of you she currently experiences. And your job is not to beg for attention. Your job is to build yourself into someone whose presence naturally creates curiosity, emotional tension, confidence, and value. Stop trying so hard to be chosen. Become the kind of man women naturally notice without forcing it, because real attraction begins the moment desperation ends.